Hello, hi Vinny, how are you?
Good to see you, Nizam. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to interview you.
Yeah, and I was thrilled. I was thrilled to be here.
Yeah. So, friends, we have Vinny here. I call him as in short Vinny. So, so Vinny teaches something called organic hypnosis, and he is on a lifelong mission about the quit smoking training and mission and all that stuff. So, let us know more about Vinny and his journey into hypnosis. So, Vinny, what attracted you to focus on hypnosis?
Yeah, it's funny how that ties together with smoking cessation for me. I really got interested in this subject after my mom passed away from smoking related causes.
Okay.
As she was only 53. And I think seeing her go through that and just how powerless she felt to be able to overcome it, it's kind of nasty. You see someone kind of wither away and the stage is set in, and there's all these warning signs that this isn't going
Mhm.
to end well. And that's where, after she passed away, I started wondering maybe I should do something about this. And I kind of looked into different methodologies or modalities around quitting. I looked at pharmaceuticals, but consistently, the easiest thing that I could implement, and it happened to be the most effective solution I saw, was hypnotherapy for smoking cessation. And some people uh, get it wrong in our industry, and we love them, but they just don't know, right? They say, "Oh, this isn't an effective way to quit." When you do a comparison study, there's some things that will point that out. Some studies, the overwhelming majority of the data shows that it's the most effective way to quit, though. And people go, well, 30% a year later isn't very good. It's extremely high. And that's a really basic version, like kind of an out of the box hypnosis solution that people might do. Once you get some skills and some experience, that success rate's going to climb up like anything. You're going to start to see half the people quit, and then it just keeps going up. So yeah, so I kind of went on a bit of a rant there to some, but yeah, it was because my mom passed away. That's why I got into that.
And though I got trained in organic hypnosis, but still I want to ask you, what is this organic hypnosis all about, and how did this evolve, Vinny?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, the primary thing was I'm spending a lot of money and time learning a bunch of different modalities,
Mhm.
and I took something valuable away from all of them.
Mhm.
The problem I ran into, though, was you would see unconscious resistance emerge constantly in
Mm.
sessions. And if I couldn't nail down all those elements on a really long pre-talk on the front end, it would show up in a session in different ways. It would tamper with our results on the back end. So organic hypnosis really became an approach where, okay, how do I work with a client in such a way that we're not so much emphasizing doing hypnosis to them, we're inviting them to engage in that process themselves.
Mm.
And to do that, I actually didn't need a lot of techniques. I don't really use any in particular. I don't spend a lot of time with language patterns. It's mainly just using that client's experience as the gateway into trance. And then we just use that trance as a gateway into learning. And what I find is that a half hour of that, 45 minutes of that, people don't want to smoke anymore. They understand the problem differently. They
Wow.
understand themselves differently, which is probably the most important thing I can help them with. So that's kind of the approach there. And that's how I kind of stake my claim, right, in helping these people quit now. It's more about that, giving them that opportunity for self-discovery. And they go, why am I doing this? This is a waste of money, time, etc. All the things I used to tell them on the pre-talk, they sort of discover it themselves. And it's always better when we do that, right? When we figure out the lesson, there's a bigger impact than when someone lectures us or tells us it. It just doesn't work as well. Um, yeah, that's that, buddy.
Yeah. So that's the very beautiful modality, I should say. The organic hypnosis is a lovely experience. And please share about your smoking cessation training. How is it going to help? Do people need to have some prior knowledge in hypnosis? How is it, Vinny?
Yeah. I think prior experience in hypnosis can only help.
Mm-hmm.
If the person that takes the training is willing to open their mind temporarily. I always tell folks, look, set everything you learned on a shelf. We're going to look at all this stuff differently. And then go back and use that stuff if you need it, right? It's always
Mm-hmm.
there. You're not going to unlearn that. Uh, but what we want to do is experience this stuff on the edge so that we could start to work in a more intuitive way with people. But no, it's not necessary. I do have a handful of students now that had zero experience with hypnosis, zero
Okay.
experience with like life coaching, things like that. And they really didn't have a lot of experience with any change work modality to speak of. And some it kind of shocks me how good they are when they're working with people. And I always like I'm like, oh, that makes me feel good. But I think they just have some gifts, some abilities we're able to tap into. And I like to recognize them during the training. Like you have this thing you do that's very special.
Hmm.
I want you to understand why this is valuable. I like to take some time teaching them how they can leverage it with client work. So the short answer is no. You can just join up and we'll have fun.
Yeah. And Vinny, when you work with people, have you observed that the
Mm.
session goes well? People are now confident that they are a non-smoker. However, once they go back, life happens and there could be certain situations. Did you see
Mm.
that still, irrespective of challenges, people were able to sustain and continue to be a non-smoker?
Yeah. Was the question, you said something about upsell, Nizam?
No, no, not upsell.
Oh, I
Life
misunderstood.
challenges, when life challenges happen,
Yeah,
so people go back, face it after the session. So,
got
what
it.
did you notice? Yeah.
I think the advice I love, I'm glad you asked this question. I think this is really important, and I hope everybody listens to this. Don't make the session about the time you spend with the person in front of you.
Hmm.
Make from that moment they meet you till the day they die, the session. Okay, extend it out. Don't think in terms of when this person walks out of here today, there's a magical transformation. Snap there. There's a magical transformation. We love it when that happens. I've seen it happen. It's great. Um, but we want to start to utilize all those post-session experiences as an opportunity for that person to strengthen and empower themselves more. So I teach something called IP. It's a dual metaphor. I won't go into a whole thing. Uh, but essentially, I think the most practical thing for your listener to understand is we can just say, when you walk out of here today, you're going to have a range of experiences. And you can use these as an opportunity to give up and to fail and to continue down this path of shame and pain, continuing to poison yourself. Or there's another option. And
Yes.
that option is to use these challenges as an opportunity to learn even more about yourself and to be patient and loving as you make this extremely healthy choice to walk a different path, one of empowerment, one of building the life you want. You just go into something like that, really simple. Give them some time. And I'll even go through scenarios. You mentioned you have cravings when this happens. What choice do you want to make today when that happens, right? You can get really pedantic. I also have a whole, but the big thing that I'm looking for here is interdirectedness, Nizam. I don't want them looking to me as the magical solution maker. I want them to realize they are the magical solution maker. And it's
Wonderful.
through being deliberate and focused and things like that. So Uh, that's my favorite thing. So when you asked that, I was like, okay, Vinny, don't keep
So,
Nizam here for 3 days while we.
yes, this is amazing because I keep you keep posting about the quit smoking testimonials.
Sure.
It makes me really happy when someone is a non-smoker for months and years or permanently. So this
Mhm.
is amazing mission that you are on, Vinny. So Vinny, is this organize organic hypnosis and then this smoking cessation protocol, can they be replicated for other life challenges as well and other addictions like gambling, vaping, etc.?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's incredible how powerful it is. And I think that's your question really lies at the heart of what organic hypnosis is about. It's not about, I would run into situations where I would take a training, but it was a very specific problem. And I could glean insights and map it over to a different type of a challenge for a different type of person I would encounter. So I started to think, okay, well, what differentiates the thing? What is it about this modality that works here and here? And the
Mm-hmm.
conclusion I arrived at eventually was it's about working with a human in front of you. And when you help that person really understand themselves and their relationship to the problem, shifts they can't help but occur. And all we can really do is empower that person to make better choices anyway.
Yeah,
They got to walk that journey. I can't walk it for them. So absolutely, you could take the things you learned here because they're going to be fundamental and core to transformation in general. It's kind of a principle-based approach to things versus, I don't know, something a little bit more mechanical or structured around a presenting problem. Does that make sense, Nizam? I don't know if I explained
yes,
that
yes,
well.
yes, Vinny.
Okay,
Yes, yes, thank you
cool.
about that. And see, there are technique based approaches. There are this like complete freehand, whereas organic hypnosis comes like it doesn't come with a rule. There's no structure. Of course, there are principles behind it. So, what is your opinion, which are structured, protocol, technique based, or whereas there is this freehand
Yeah,
and complete, it's about the client and dealing with whatever emerges. How do you differentiate that,
I
Vinny?
love that. That's such a good question. I think I would recommend that people at least study a little bit of both at a minimum because there's some personalities that really like a very segmented and rigid approach. And I was actually that way when I
Hmm.
started working with clients. I wanted to have everything planned out step by step. I wanted to be able to anticipate how someone was going to react. And I thought my margin of success could only go up the better I could can control a session.
Hmm.
Uh, that has not been what I found to be the case in experience with working with clients. But I think there's a personality type that genuinely likes that, and they probably thrive in that environment.
Hmm.
But I'm still super glad I learned a more direct, kind of authoritative, compliance-driven approach. I do glean a lot of insights from that because it informs my approach even today. But I decided to focus more on inner directedness, helping a client foster that. So that's sort of the short and long version of it. For me, I think you want to learn both. I think that it's a personality thing to an extent. And as we grow and develop as practitioners, all this stuff you learn is going to show up in remarkable ways. I think investing in, I still do one training a year. I teach people, I teach a lot of people. I go to conferences, I keynote speak. I don't know. Nizam, when you come up with a training, I'm going to take it at some point. This is going to happen because I don't have all the answers. So I kind of see it as less about this approach versus that approach. I would rather learn from someone that completely disagrees with me.
Hmm.
Uh, I can take more information out of them. Or if nothing else, I go, wow, I really don't agree with any of that. But now I have a more informed approach about it. It clarifies my own thinking, right? Well, I think I think I see a lot of harmony where some folks might see friction there. I see a lot of opportunity in that. I think there's a lot to learn from other people,
Wonderful.
especially again if they disagree. I think it's great.
Yeah. And Vinny, I'm curious where you said once you were a structured and direct approach and all that. What happened that shifted to that level where you utilized indirect approach of hypnosis and started teaching your own version and to this
Oh,
level of two opposites? So what happened?
well, there's a couple things that I think are really beneficial for that to understand. The first one was I had a moment of just pure desperation.
Hmm.
I started my clinic and I just caught fire. And it was awesome to help a bunch of people quit. And I was using a very direct approach. And then something happened.
Mhm.
And there's a very natural regressive part of learning, where you think you can do something, then you can't do it. It's a weird, uh, we still do this even as adults. That's crazy. But I had this lady that saved up for 3 months to be able to afford my fee. And I was fired up. I was so proud of her because the amount of people I would talk to that would say, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it once I get the money." And they just never show up. And she did it. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Think about all the stuff she did leading up to that moment to be able to prepare herself. She's
Hmm.
highly invested. My fee was a big number to her. I even offered to recommend her to other people. She said, no, I want to work with you. And we did the session, and I thought I performed at a high level. And the next day, I talked to her, and she was falling apart and she just couldn't deal with it. And I thought, you got to be kidding me, man. She saved up all this time. Oh, I felt bad. So I decided to hop on a call with her,
Mhm.
and I spent about 35 minutes on Facebook Messenger. I didn't even know you could call people on that. It was
Mhm.
crazy. And we talked about things completely unrelated to her smoking cigarettes.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
We talked about her daughter posting some stuff on social media and how that made her feel terrible. And then we just went into the feeling terrible. What is that about? Very similar to organic hypnosis, right, Nizam? If you've been in that
Yes, yes,
training.
that's what I'm picking up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, what the hell just happened? I sat there kind of flabbergasted. And then it's been years now, and she hasn't smoked, and she still sends me testimonials and sends me clients. So I thought something interesting happened there, but I had no idea what it was. And I
Hmm.
kind of continued mixing a little bit of whatever that was into it. At the time, I didn't know what to call it. And then doing a little bit of a hybrid direct approach. And then eventually I learned about a fellow named Scott Jansen, who I'm really close with. I probably trained with him for a couple $100, and I learned some of his ACH stuff. He's a brilliant dude. And that really that started to open my eyes a little bit more to what indirect approach could be. And then out of that, I developed my own core premises and principles and built organic hypnosis, where it's
Wow.
a little less structured about anything. It's kind of like very complimentary. I have a lot of his students in my program. They're like, "Oh, I love this thing." Oh yeah, that's basically the foundation, though. Those are all the different building blocks of what happened there, I would say. Um, oh, can I point out one more thing, Nizam?
Yeah.
I would go to conferences afterward, and I would see these absolute legends working, or just the way they handled people. And I started to observe the beauty of kind of like who they are differently. Like
Hmm.
if you're around Freddie Jockwin, I mean, do you know Freddie?
Yes, yes, yes. I do.
I've been around that guy 5, 6 times in my life. Only one time he didn't change my life. And he didn't even do a session, just being around the guy. You're like, dude, that guy just is something special in a way. And so I became fascinated by that. Like, how do I help people through a program start to discover this stuff within themselves?
Hmm.
That way, I mean, Freddie could just have you look at the wall and he could just do what he can just make it up. He's at a high level. There's a lot of people like that. But that was the stuff that got me fascinated. And he takes a very direct approach, but it's uncanny the way he works. It's special stuff. Yeah. Every
Right
answer
on.
is 5 minutes. Sorry.
You are having your own trance moments,
Yeah,
Vinny.
I know. I can't help it. Fun.
So, when, like, if someone wants to reach out, what are the different ways who are interested in organic hypnosis or smoking cessation program? What are the different ways they can reach out to you?
Well, I'm Vinnie Brigance on all social media. You can type in my name. You can go to vincentbrigance.com. I'm kind of all over the place and just reach out and say hi. Don't feel very, I don't know, don't feel a lot of hesitation about it. I'm not that kind of a dude. I just like to get stuff done and I don't like to monkey around with a lot of formality when it comes to stuff like that. So just hit me up. You can follow me on social, shoot me a message. It's really, really simple. Also, Vinny at the stopsmokingspecialist.com. That's my email. That's a really simple way to get a hold of me too. A bit of a long domain name. That's what we got.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Vinny. Friends, I'll be providing all the social media links of Vinny in the YouTube description. And
Hmm.
it was lovely approach, Vinny, where you kind of open while you are
Hmm.
teaching on one hand, at the same time you are learning and exploring, and then imbibe this into your practice. So that's how the organic hypnosis is also evolving by itself, and it's a
Good.
wonderful thing. And I really love your mission of smoking cessation, and
Thank you.
all the very best with this. Thank you once again for your time,
Yeah,
Vinny.
thanks. Okay, cool.
Thank you.